Hello friends, today I will start my lecture with air refrigeration system. So before going to air refrigeration system, first I will discuss about what are the objectives. The first one is to study about reversed Carnot cycle and its limitations. What exactly is reversed Carnot cycle and what are its limitations? Second, so there are many limitations in reverse Carnot cycle. So what modification has been done in reverse Carnot cycle? Thereafter comes reversed Brayton cycle with modification of reversed Carnot cycle. We will study about reversed Brayton cycle, actual and ideal cycle, and last we will study about what refrigeration system has been employed in aircraft refrigeration cycle. So basically we will cover in today's lecture, we will cover 3 points. First, reverse Carnot cycle and its limitations. Second, reverse Brayton cycle, ideal cycle and actual cycle, and last, aircraft refrigeration cycle. So what exactly is air refrigeration system? What do you understand by air refrigeration system? Basically, it is the addition of two. One is air and second is refrigeration system. So what do you understand by refrigeration system? Basically, a system has been employed to produce refrigeration effect or cooling effect or lower temperature with the help of some external aid. And in this external aid has been in the form of work input. So basically refrigeration system is to produce lower temperature with respect to surroundings with the help of external aid. And obviously in this working fluid is air, means it is treated as an ideal gas and air has been used as working fluid for producing lower temperature. So first we will start with reversed Carnot cycle. Before going to reversed Carnot cycle, first I will deal with what are the assumptions basically to find out the COP or anything. So first we will discuss about the assumptions. What are the assumptions to carry out reverse Carnot cycle? In this, the first assumption is the working fluid is air which has been treated as ideal gas. The reverse Carnot cycle is assumed to be closed loop cycle. The third one, all the internal process that has been carried out in reverse Carnot cycle is reversible. And last, the specific heat of air or working medium is constant throughout the cycle. So basically these are the 4 assumptions which we will analyze after which we will analyze reverse Carnot cycle. First, working fluid is air which has been treated as an ideal gas. So our whole calculation will be on the basis of an ideal gas. Second, this cycle has been assumed as closed loop cycle. Third, all the internal process is reversible, means there will be no any friction loss, there will be no any pressure loss. And last, the specific heat of air which is treated as an ideal gas, therefore specific heat of an air is constant throughout the cycle. So next I will sketch reversed Carnot cycle, the block diagram of reversed Carnot cycle. So this is basically the layout of reversed Carnot cycle, in which there are 4 components, 2 compressors. C denotes the compressor and T denotes the turbine. So what we observe that in this, basically there are 4 processes that has been carried out in reversed Carnot cycle: 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4 and 4 to 1. We will go with step by step process. First we start with 1 to 2. 1 to 2 is isentropic compression process. Means what is isentropic is, that is reversible adiabatic process. This sign shows that there is no heat transfer to the surroundings, means there will be no any heat transfer, only work, and what we will provide, that work input has been given to the compressor. So compressor will compress the air which is working fluid to higher pressure and higher temperature, and this high temperature air has been gone through second compressor, and this process 2 to 3 is isothermal compression. Isothermal compression means temperature has been remains constant throughout. Temperature has been remain constant throughout this process. Only the change will be in pressure. This high pressure air which comes into the compressor will be further compressed to higher pressure, with temperature remains constant throughout this process. Then this air will goes to turbine, and this process 3 to 4 is isentropic expansion. Isentropic expansion. Isentropic expansion means there will be no any heat transfer only, and this turbine will produce some work output. And during expansion process, the pressure, temperature and enthalpy of air has been decreased, and side by side this has produced some work, and this work output has been given to compressor. This turbine has been coupled with compressor through the shaft, and this work output of the turbine has been used to run out the compressor, and this low temperature air has been forwarded to turbine. That is 4 to 1 process. Four to 1 process is isothermal expansion. Isothermal expansion means this low temperature air will produce cooling effect, means here the low temperature air has been supplied to turbine and the surrounding temperature is higher. That's thereby this low temperature air will absorb some heat from the surrounding and thereby produce some cooling effect to the surroundings. So this 4-to-1 process is the cooling process, that is refrigerating effect, which is our main motto. So 4-to-1 is refrigerating effect process. Low temperature air will absorb heat from the surroundings and thereby producing cooling effect to the surrounding. And in this process 2-to-3, which we will discuss isothermal compression, in this the heat has been rejected to the atmosphere, Q rejection, and in this Q has been absorbed to the turbine. So this whole cycle has been composed of 4 processes, 1-to-2, that is isentropic compression, in which we will give some work input to the compressor to compress the air from low temperature to high temperature and low pressure to high pressure. This high pressure air has been forwarded to compressor, that is process 2-to-3, and 2-to-3 process represents isothermal compression, means temperature has been constant and thereby some work has been given to work compressor and thereby some heat has been rejected to the atmosphere. And after that, in 3-to-4 process there is isentropic expansion, means there will be no any heat transfer. Work has been produced by the turbine and this work has been taken to the compressor to run out the compressor. So hopefully hopefully the reverse Carnot cycle has been completed in this 4 process. I will start with next PV and TS diagram of reverse Carnot cycle. First, I will start the PV and TS diagram of reversed Carnot cycle. So the TS diagram of this cycle is 1-to-2, which is isentropic compression, that is reversible adiabatic, entropy remains constant in process 1-to-2. And what we observed that in process 1-to-2 the pressure has also been increased from P1 to P2. P represents the pressure line. So P1 represents the constant pressure line of this curve, P2 represents the pressure line, P3 represents the pressure line. So in 1-to-2 process there will be also temperature increase and pressure increase. In 2-to-3 process there is isothermal compression, means temperature remains constant but pressure has been increased from P2 to P3. In 3-to-4 process, this is that which has been carried out in turbine. 3-to-4 process is isentropic expansion, and in isentropic expansion, that is reversible adiabatic, entropy remains constant. What we will observe that pressure has been decreased, temperature has been decreased, and the last process is 4-to-1, which will produce cooling effect, that is isothermal expansion. In this, temperature remains constant and pressure has been decreased from P2 to P1. Simultaneously, we will draw the sketch of PV diagram. In this 1-to-2 process is isentropic compression, means pressure has been increased from 1 to 2. In 2-to-3 process again pressure has been increased because this is compression process. In 3-to-4 this is expansion process, therefore pressure has been decreased from 3 to 4, and in last process 4 to 1, which is isothermal expansion, pressure has been again decreased to 4 to 1.